2025 is coming to an end. I've had a great year for cycling. I've done about 10,000 miles across all my Strava activities. And so I kind of wanted to talk about some of my favorite gear that I've purchased this year in regards to shoes and components and wheels and the things that I've felt have been most impactful for me. And if you agree, that's awesome. If you disagree, let me know. But this is some of my favorite picks for 2025.
So one of my favorite investments that I've made this year is in regard to my shoes, both on the off-road side and the road side. But just talking about the road side, I picked up these Fizik Vento Powerstrap Aeroweaves this year. As you can see, instead of being a solid material all the way around, it's like a nylon mesh, which I haven't really seen before. It makes them super breathable, which is really great for me because it's like 100 degrees in the summer. And even if you're wearing summer bibs and summer jersey and everything, your feet are still kind of hot because they're entrapped in sort of a solid shoe. So these have been really nice. They're super light. They do have straps instead of boas, which is fine. I've always been a big Fizik fan, and I find that the power straps work perfectly fine. This shoe is even pretty useful in the winter on the trainer, and so I really do recommend these shoes if you're willing to shell out for them. I think right now they're about $430 on the Fizik website in the US. However, Fizik does do a fair number of Strava challenges, and the codes do work on these shoes. And so I was able to get them for about 30% off, which is still like $300, but I think they're well worth it.
So two things that I've really enjoyed this year have been the Continental Dubnitals and the Race Rapid 2.4 tread. I just feel like there's such a big step up over the Race Kings in terms of grip and in terms of being able to kind of lean into turns and not have it kind of squirm out from underneath of you. This has been definitely my favorite tire of 2025. And then I also wanted to just lightly touch on the OneUp V3 dropper post. I don't really particularly rely on dropper posts very much because of where I live, but if I take the bike out to the mountains, then I definitely am going to use it a little more. The nice thing about the OneUp post is that it has such a low stack height, and you can see here I only have about that much showing, and I could actually even shim that farther down if I wanted to. It's just such an easy post to set up. It's very lightweight, and it has, I believe, the longest travel of any dropper post on the market. And so those have both been really great things for this mountain bike this year.
So in 2025, I feel like I've really dialed in my nutrition strategy, especially when it comes to hot weather. In the past, I've had a sensitive stomach with these sort of things. And so my favorite is Flow Formula. I really like the apple cider drink mix that they have right now. In the summer, I do the flavorless because I do get a little bit of taste fatigue when it comes to the hot weather and when the bottle gets hot over a couple hours sitting in the sun. But all their stuff is good. I've talked about the gel flask on the channel before, but next year I'll be partnering with them to be a brand ambassador. So really happy with Flow Formula this year.
So my favorite wheels this year have definitely been reserve wheels. I managed to pick up these 5263s, which came with this frame. And then I also picked up these 4044s, which I intended to use on my gravel bike. And I did for a little while until I decided to do the drop bar hardtail. And then I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with the wheels until I realized that they're also really good road wheels. And these ones actually were originally road wheels before Reserve switched them to being 4044 gravels. So these are 25.5 internal width. And what that does, the secret sauce, is that it takes like a 28 mil tire and it puffs it out to 31. So you get all of the weight savings having a skinnier tire, but you get all the comfort of riding on what is essentially a 31. And these wheels are so comfortable, as well as these too. You know, on a TT bike, you're not really looking for comfort, but just to have such a wider rim, it just makes for such a better experience overall. So I've been really, really happy with the reserve wheels. So these are my Force E1 levers. These are definitely my favorite sort of component on the bike that I got this year. I'm sure you've heard people wax poetic about the Force levers, but I'll just keep beating a dead horse. They are so incredibly comfortable, and the braking power is really good. The bonus buttons are really useful, especially for me, because, I do have this Wahoo here, and I can control the entire Wahoo, including my Spotify, from the levers without my hands leaving the levers. I have in the past crashed because I was trying to do something on the computer and I didn't pay attention and I hit a bump. So to be able to have these is like next level. They're so comfortable. The only consideration with them is that they do add to your effective reach, because this is about, I think, a centimeter longer than the previous SRAM bars. But definitely my favorite component of the year. So those are my thoughts for 2025 in regards to the stuff that I used, the gear that I used. I really enjoyed the rides I did this year and the bikes that I've built and sort of the tinkering that I've done. I've already got some stuff lined up for next year in regards to equipment. I'm going to retire my Garmin Varia, which has seen better days, and the battery's sort of almost shot on it. I've got a Lezyne radar drive coming in the mail, as well as the front light for it. So I'm really excited to try those out because my front light also died the other day. I'm really excited to retire my helmet, which is a Giro Eclipse. I really want to try the new Giro Eclipse Pro when that comes out. I think that's in mid-February. Really looking forward to that because this one is beat up and the pads have been replaced and it just is in need of being put to bed. I've also got some wheels coming that a manufacturer is releasing and they're sending to me. Those will be free, but I don't think I'm supposed to really talk about them yet. But very excited to try those out and compare them to my Mavics as well as the reserves, and we'll see where we go from there. So let me know your thoughts and Happy New Year.